In this lesson, we're going to figure out where your time and energy are actually going. And we'll do this by sorting all your commitments into two really simple categories: prescriptions and subscriptions. You'll see that understanding this one difference is the key to feeling more in control of your week.
So, have you ever had that feeling where your week is just completely full, but you're not even sure what's filling it all up? Some things you absolutely have to do, but other things, well, you just kind of keep choosing them, even when you're already feeling tired.
Once you can really tell the difference between a must-do and a choose-to-do, you'll start to understand why your week feels the way it does, whether that's overloaded or maybe even a little bit empty.
Okay, so let's dive into this. We're going to start by defining exactly what we mean when we say prescriptions and subscriptions, especially in the context of your life as a student.
All right, so first up, a prescription. A prescription is something you absolutely must do because it's a real responsibility. You can think of it like a non-negotiable assignment from life. These are your have-to items.
So what does this actually look like in your life? Well, prescriptions are things like, going to school, turning in required assignments, showing up to work if you have a job, and even basic health stuff like getting enough sleep. They're not always exciting, for sure, but they are essential. Okay, in your workbook for Lesson 1.3, find that first sentence. Based on what we just talked about, how would you define a prescription in your own words? You might write something simple like, a prescription is a must-do task or a real responsibility. Go ahead and fill that in now.
And now for the other category, a subscription. A subscription is something you choose to do on a regular basis. It's a habit, a routine, or an activity that you sign up for with your time and energy, whether you consciously realize you're doing it or not.
These are things like scrolling social media, or gaming for a few hours after school, or maybe watching videos before bed. Now, subscriptions aren't automatically bad, not at all. Some can be really helpful, but it's just important to notice the ones that quietly use up your energy without giving you much back.
All right, go back to your workbook page and let's complete that second sentence for subscription. How would you describe this one in your own terms? Maybe something like, a subscription is a habit I choose to do regularly. Just take a moment to write down your own definition.
Okay, so we've got the definitions down. Now let's make this really practical by sorting the commitments in your actual life.
In your workbook, you'll find a section that asks for 2 examples of each from your life. So for prescriptions, you might think of something like turning in my English essay. For subscriptions, it could be checking TikTok every free moment. Go ahead and pause here to fill in your own examples.
All right, let's move on to the quick sort section in your workbook. We'll do the first few together. First up, going to school. Is that a must-do or is it a choice? Yeah, that's a prescription. It's a legal and an academic requirement.
Okay, next one, scrolling TikTok. Now, even if it feels totally automatic, you are choosing to open the app and spend time there. So this one is a subscription.
Now, what about this one? Extra study time for a hard class. This one is kind of interesting. While doing your required homework is a prescription, choosing to spend extra time beyond that basic requirement, that's actually a subscription. It's a choice you're making to support yourself.
All right, now it's your turn. Go through the rest of that list in your workbook and mark each item as either a P or an S. Just keep asking yourself that question. Is this a must-do or is it a choice? Go ahead and pause the explainer here while you complete the quick sort.
Great. Now we're going to move into the Apply It to Your Week section. This is where you get a really clear picture of your actual weekly load.
You'll see 2 boxes on your page, one for prescriptions and one for subscriptions. First, in that prescriptions box, list all the things in your week that are truly non-negotiable. Then, in the subscriptions box, just honestly list the routines and habits you choose. This isn't about judging yourself, it's just about getting some clarity. Pause here and fill in both of those boxes with real examples from your week. So take a second to just look at the 2 lists you just made. How does that balance feel to you? Does it feel like you have way too many prescriptions, maybe too many subscriptions, or a pretty good balance between the 2? Now look at those 3 words at the bottom of that section: overloaded, balanced, or underchallenged. Based on the map you just created, just circle the one word that best describes how you feel right now. There's no right or wrong answer here, it's just about checking in with yourself.
The last part of this lesson is about taking action. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. The whole goal is just to make one small adjustment, something that helps you move a little closer to a feeling of balance. And there are 3 simple ways you can do this. 1, you could remove or shorten a subscription that's maybe draining you.
2, you could add a helpful one like a 10-minute walk. Or 3, you could just change how you handle one of your prescriptions to make it feel a little less draining.
On your page, finish this sentence. One change I will try is, try to be specific. For example, you might write, I will put my phone in another room for the first 20 minutes after I get home from school. And then just write down when you'll try it.
So, to recap this whole lesson, your week is made of prescriptions, those are the must-dos, and subscriptions, those are the habits you choose. Just being able to see the difference is the very first step toward finding a better balance. And always remember, one small change can often make a really big difference.
Go ahead and finish filling out your workbook page for this lesson. When you're done, you'll be ready for our next step. In Lesson 1.4, we're going to take what you've learned here and use it to design one tiny, realistic system that actually fits your life.